protocol on electing a new leader. Let's just find out what another Conservative thinks of this. George Freeman, former Conservative Science Minister and MP for Mid Norfolk. Good evening to you.
Evening.
Your thoughts, first of all, on Bob Blackman as the new chair of the 1922 committee?
I think it's an excellent appointment. He's a very, very long-standing campaigner and a veteran. I think it's pretty unfortunate that the way he's off to a bad start in terms of the way it was arranged, but that wasn't him. But I think he's an excellent appointment. We've got the right guy. And it's a really important role because the Conservative Party has just suffered the biggest rejection from the electorate in its history, for over 100 years. And we are going to need to take a very long, hard look in the mirror. And I've been on record already this week in saying we mustn't rush into a leadership election. We need to go into a serious period, 6-9 months of properly looking at why and how a whole raft of different voter groups have abandoned us and how we put that right. If I was in business, if this was a business, we've just suffered a major collapse of our share price. Investors are fleeing. Nobody's buying the product. And we've got a management problem. Well, when that happens, you don't just have a management problem. You have a purpose problem, and we've got to really look hard at learning the right lessons and then reforming the party from top to bottom.
Yeah. What do you think of the fact that the Conservative Party membership will still be involved?
Well, I think it's vital that they're involved, but when I say from top to bottom, I mean from top to bottom. I think the Conservative Party has come to look to the public I fear it's come to look like a club basically for the pursuit of power. And people have lost sight of the values that bring us together. Most businesses out there today have values and they stand for something. So do we, but we're not clear about them. So I'd like it from top to bottom, a review of Conservative headquarters, a review of our funding. We're far too beholden to a few small donors, and our membership offer. I think our members are not getting very much for their money.
Yes. But you need to answer my question, George, because you have previously said that you didn't think it was such a great idea for the next Conservative Party leader to be elected. I am answering your question. I'm answering it in my terms, which is that, let me finish if you may, that we need to reform the Conservative Party profoundly. And I think that on the leadership, I turn it round so that the membership take any applicants, all applicants, and hear them all, and boil it down to, say, 3. And then the parliamentary party choose from the 3, or whatever the number is, that the party membership nominate the leader, because we have to end this psychodrama of the 2 wings of the party disagreeing and the membership being offered a choice, choosing someone who parliamentary colleagues know is not fit for the job. You have to end that. OK. So you would like to see the membership boil down the shortlist to 3 candidates for leadership, and then you would then like Conservative MPs to be able to make that choice from the final 3.
Yes, because we have to get away from one of the most damaging things has been members justifiably saying, well, hang on, I elected Liz Truss or Boris Johnson or whoever it was, and parliamentary party understanding either before or very quickly that they can't work with her or him.
Yeah.
So you
and
can't
it's always
have that.
difficult. It is always difficult if you've got the membership behind one person, and that can be the sort of popular vote almost, and that isn't necessarily belt and braces what the Conservative Party needs. You are at a vulnerable point at the moment where every decision is incredibly crucial. Bob Blackman's already said that he wants to involve the Conservative Party membership and didn't say that there would be any change as to the manner of their involvement. So that'll perhaps be something that you'll have to raise with him.
I already have. And I've said to him, listen, I think there is an argument to say that when we're in opposition, I've heard this argument put that it's fine, members should choose the leader in opposition, but you change the rules when you're in government. Well, if that's the case, this is the time to change those rules. And for the next 6-9 months, we are completely irrelevant. The country wants us to go away. They want us to show that we've learnt the lesson, that we've understood what the electorate are telling us. And of course, the shadow cabinet, excellent group, can hold the government to account at the dispatch box. But the Conservative Party has got to go and show that it's listened properly to the electorate. And I think, as I say, that's a top-to-bottom grassroots reform. And while we're doing that, why not revise our constitution?
Yeah.
It would show the public that we've listened.
And look, you are a fan of this being a long process, as long as it takes, potentially into next spring from this 6 to 9 month time frame. Would you be happy to see an interim leader, and who might that person be? If you're going all the way through to early next year, you're going to have an interim leader. Who might that be?
Two questions. Yeah, on timing. I mean, I think the ideal timing would be a summer of deep reflection, looking at all the data and the analysis, building up to a party conference. Frankly, no one else is going to be there. We're pretty irrelevant at the moment, in which all the members and everybody go through properly why we lost, and not sort of who said this about Boris or who said this about Liz, but actually look at the data, look at which voter groups didn't vote and why, and set out a proper, serious raft of reforms to make this party connectable with the 21st century electorate, and then ask the leadership candidates to address those issues in their campaigns.
Okay.
And I think that could be done we could have a conference, and then we could have a leadership campaign in the autumn, and the new leader is announced first week of January.
Okay.
Or sometime in January. So it needn't be, I mean, we can't take 12 months about it. On your second question, if the Prime Minister, if Rishi Sunak wants to, I think he's earned the right to oversee that process. Equally, I mean, I think he had an impossible job to do. If he decides somebody else, then I think we can and should choose a very good caretaker to see us through that process. Both possible.
Okay, but no thoughts on who that interim leader might be?
Oh, I think as long as it's somebody who is not standing, somebody who has the trust, can command the trust of the various so-called five families of conservatism, and somebody whose integrity is unquestioned. There are several candidates. I'm not going to name any, but we're not short of people who would qualify.
Look, thank you for being with us. Hugely appreciated. George Freeman, former Conservative Science Minister, MP for Mid Norfolk. Thank you for being candid with us there. This is Kate Borsay.